This is Backspin, the golf show, presented by Ping. Play your best. I'm Corey LaRusso, in studio with azgolf.org columnist Bill Huffman and the man from Vans, Rick Levy. Our special guest this morning joining us in studio is Jim Hackenberg from Orange Whip, thus the music, courtesy of Devo. But Orange Whip is one of the big training devices available at a Vans golf shop near you. But, Jim, we're learning more and more about you all the time. First of all, it's not North Carolina, it's South Carolina.
Exactly right.
And people may know the name from around town because you actually spent time at ASU on the golf team.
I did. In 1987, I was a walk-on to the ASU golf team. 88, and I was Phil Mickelson's freshman year, so I got to know a lot of the guys around here.
Yeah, you have some connections to Oregon as well, and, I was down at U of A the same time you were at ASU, and those were some real strong programs back in that time of
Absolutely
golf.
right. Yeah, absolutely. With Gamez, Phil, Jimmy Strickland.
Yeah. That was back in the days when both teams were good and they hated each other.
That's right.
If you really remember it.
Yeah.
I mean,
and now they're all friends. But
now they're friends, but they're neither program's that good, although I think Tim Mickelson's going to turn it around at ASU. I really do.
Well, Jim, you've been around the game for quite a while, and you came up with this great concept, and I guess you did it through teaching, and now it's just kind of rolled out over the last 3-4 years into the retail market and all over the country, and people are loving the Orange Whip.
That's correct. It's been a great ride for me. We brought it out 4 years ago at the PGA show, and I focused on the PGA professionals, as I am one, and that was the direction I wanted to get it, because if you get it into the instructors and the better players, it's going to spread to the people, the higher handicappers.
I guess let me just ask one thing though. How did you ever? I mean, because this here is this kind of real super flexible shaft with a orange ball on the end of it. How did you kind of come up with the concept? I mean, any inventor needs some trial and error. You need a name. Mm-hmm. You got to come up with a name. I mean, how did it all come together? Was the original thing on the end of it orange?
No, I knew it was going to have to be a ball on the end of the device because I didn't want the person to try to control the club face. And because of my favorite color being orange, and as an Oregon State graduate, it kind of all fit together with
the Beavers.
The Beavers, exactly right. And the development came when I took a small stint caddying on the PGA Tour. A good friend of mine qualified, and I spent a lot of time on the range watching him as well as other players. There were certain guys, most notably Jeff Ogilvy. Watching Jeff swing a golf club is so beautiful because the rhythm and the balance is hard to match. So watching him, I started seeing the golf club basically as a ball on the end of a chain. If a person were to swing a ball on the end of a chain, the only way they could do it is to get their arms and body to synchronize. So through working in a garage, putting together multiple devices with fishing rods and different weights, I came up with the Orange Whip, and it's grown. It's been a beautiful ride.
And Karsten Solheim started out in a garage.
Well, in your production for the first couple of years, and I don't know if it's still there, but it was kind of a regional thing where you had guys set up, they were putting them together and bringing them to shops, and it's really a grassroots effort.
Absolutely. It's what I first like to say. It's made in the USA. All the parts and the assembly is made in the USA, which I'm very proud of. For the last 3 years, we'd been producing them in Phoenix, Arizona, but we've moved all of our operations to Greenville, South Carolina. We have it all under the same hut. We have a new product called the Orange Peel, and we wanted to get it all in one location.
The Orange Peel. Now you got to elaborate on that.
Well, the Orange Whip was. I'll go to the Orange Peel, but the Orange Whip was developed to get the arms and body to work together to make it an athletic motion. The dilemma I was still facing was our core. When you're swinging a golf club, if you slide or move or basically displace your core, you lose your balance. So I wanted to come up with a way to basically improve a person's balance. I came up with the thought that if you could stand inside of a sphere, a 9-foot sphere is what I eventually came to, and it was stable, because of standing at the bottom of a sphere, your lower body will stabilize and your upper body will rotate over that. The best imagery I can paint for you is if you think of that Leonardo da Vinci painting, I believe it's called Vitruvian Man. He's standing inside of a sphere with his arms out. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what the Orange Peel is. It looks like a boogie board, but when you stand on it, you feel like you're in the bottom of a sphere or a bowl.
You got any peels in the shop yet?
We haven't seen the peel yet.
Just getting it out. What's amazing is, Jim, is that you really didn't start out to make a product. You just started out to make a a device that was going to help golfers, and that guys could use it to teach with. And then how did it develop into the whip?
Well, you're exactly right. With teaching, it was frustrating to watch these people just hold on very tightly to a golf club and just slam down onto the ball. It was not athletic. It was nothing like a Jeff Ogilvy golf swing. I wanted to make it easier for these people to learn it and easier for instructors to teach it. So by developing this simple device and just swinging it back and forth, the motion becomes very natural, because if you tense up, it doesn't work right. It feels awkward and unruly. But if you find a rhythm, it feels fantastic. It allows a person to swing with their swing to feel like what Ernie Els' swing looks like.
Now, are there guys, if you look at other training aids, they're out there on the tour and they're trying to get these in people's hands. Do you guys have a tour representative?
We do not. I've just through my connections from caddying and other areas, I've had the opportunity to experience going out to a lot of the tournaments in regards to the practice round days and spend on Tuesday on the driving range. And yeah, we have a great following on the tours. We've probably got over 200 players if you count champions, PGA, Nationwide, and LPGA. And actually, I'll be at the Nabisco Dinah Shore on Tuesday demonstrating my products because a lot of the LPGA players use it, namely Paula Kramer, who, with the earlier guest, Bridgestone, she's been a great supporter of our products. So I'm looking forward to meeting up with her as well as a lot of the other lady players.
Now, give us an idea of the growth of the company. In 4 years, you went from selling a couple out of your garage. Where are you now? How many are you selling a year?
We last year we sold approximately, I'm going to quick do the math on this, it was approximately 25,000 units, but we've grown quite a lot. The first year, maybe 2,000 units total, and then it's doubled or more each year.
You know, the cool thing about this thing, Bill, is it's identifiable. I mean, it doesn't look like anything else, and it doesn't perform like anything else. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. It's when you see that orange ball sticking out of a golf bag, I love it because it's very noticeable, and people always go, "What is that?"
Do you think it's better for a certain level player? Is it better for a higher handicapper or an advanced player, in your opinion?
I think the higher handicapper needs it the most, but the low handicapper understands it quicker.
Yeah, I could see that too. And I think that's the big thing about higher handicap golfers is they don't understand what the swing is supposed to feel like. You know, they think it's supposed to be hammered down on the ball, like you mentioned earlier, hammered down on it, when really, it's a graceful type situation, and the more graceful you are, really the better player you are, probably. I mean, going all the way back to Bobby Jones, who had one of the smoothest swings of all time.
Exactly. All the old school swings, Bobby Jones, Sam Snead, Byron Nelson, when I watch those, I see them swinging an orange whip. That's the motion I'm seeing. So I'm really a fan of the old school swing and the motion, and I believe it's coming back. There's a lot of great motions out there, and they're becoming much more balanced, and it's great to watch.
Now, are you an active teacher right now?
I am not teaching. This business is full-time for me. It's been going great and growing, so I still play. I still compete. I enjoy that. I played in the PGA Professional National Championship in Hershey this last summer, and that was a great experience. I did not make it to the PGA. The top 20 make it to that, but just to go up there was a fantastic experience. So I still compete, but I'm not teaching.
How many sales guys do you have around the country now?
We've got 5, and we're trying to grow in that regard, but we're still trying to figure out how to compensate that situation. So we're doing nicely at this point, but yes, we want to grow, and we think it's almost a limitless growth. This tool, for golfers, it's great for golf, but it's a great fitness and flexibility tool. I see it going well beyond golf, even into, a lot of people state to me that this is Pilates.
Now, and one of those 5 guys, I hope it's still one of those 5 guys, is a listener of the show and really a good amateur golfer here in the state. Jeff Herberger, is he still involved with you guys?
Absolutely.
Jeff's a great guy.
Great guy. And we were practicing yesterday and over at Lone Tree, and we had a great time. But, yeah, Jeff's a great guy and a great player. He's been a great
Was Avon over there?
He was. I talked to Greg. He's a Minnesota boy, and I'm from North Dakota, and we had to give him grief because
he's another good guy in town for sure.
Absolutely.
You got a lot of contacts here in the Valley.
Yeah, I was here 20-plus years ago, and I've worked here on and off at different times, so I've made some great friends in the Valley. I love it.
Jim, the one thing people like to know is what are they going to pay for an orange whip?
Our retail price is $109.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And
you
there's
can buy
fans.
it off the website probably, but why not try it first? Because Rick is a active user of the Orange Whip, and that means that if you go to Vans, you get to take a couple free swings. Huh, Rick?
Well, we actually keep them in the hitting net, so when we're getting ready to fit somebody for a set of golf clubs or a driver or whatever, a wedge, and we, put the Orange Whip in their hand, let them take a few swings, and it kind of just puts them in motion to get the right swing, and they feel good, and they're loose. And it's actually it's a nice training aid, and it's a nice device for us to use just to get people to warm up. It also comes in different lengths. So you have a junior, you have a ladies, you have a men's length. There are three different lengths that you can get. Is there a travel length too? You have one that?
No, but I'm working on that. I would like to have a telescoping one that could be put into a briefcase, because when I was caddying on tour, I would practice in the hotel room just my golf swing, and this would be a great device to travel with if it's easy to do that.
How far away from seeing the orange peel are we?
It's available now.
It is?
It is, yep. It's on my website at orangewhiptrainer.com, and there's some videos describing its use. But it's a great device. We've got it in Hank Haney is now using it. Jim Hardy is using it. Todd Sones is using it. All top teachers. It's growing.
I'll give you a stamp for the shaft that you can put on there that will even increase your sales. You can just put a stamp on there that says "Not Made in China."
That's a great point, and we're very proud because it's handmade and it's a very durable product. We've had good success with the durability and the wear and tear it can accept.
We're happy you're here with us in studio, Jim. We do have an Orange Whip to give away in this hour with a little bit of trivia. Keep that phone number handy. That's 260-9191, 602-260-9191. I'm Corey LaRusso with azgolf.org columnist Bill Huffman, the man from Vans, Rick Levy, and from Orange Whip, Jim Hackenberg is with us in studio. Keep that phone number handy, 260-9191. This is Backspin on Extra Sports 910, the Valley Sports Leader. This is Backspin, the golf show, presented by Ping. Play your best.
Or whip it.
Slow playing me, Ed. I'm Corey LaRusso with azgolf.org columnist Bill Huffman, the man from Vans, Rick Levy. Our special guest this morning is Jim Hackenberg from Orange Whip, a great trading device on the market and available at Vans golf shops. Remember, there's 5 here in the Valley, 2 down in Tucson for all of your golfing needs. And remember, Spinatos is celebrating a 1-year anniversary of their Ahwatukee store starting on Wednesday. 10% off all food, dine-in, or takeout. And you get into a huge raffle for big gift certificates to the restaurants for $250, $500, or $1,000 if you buy more than $25 worth of food. Of course, they'll be heavily involved in our tournament next week at the Wigwam and our Coors Light Backspin Tour. They'll, of course, be donating some gift certificates to our prize packages. So if you can join us next week for the Coors Light Backspin Tour at the Wigwam, go to backspinthegolfshow.com. And if you can get to Spinatos this week, celebrate a year in Ahwatukee with them at a discounted price. And we appreciate everything they do for the program. Guys, a lot of changes this past week on the PGA Tour and the whole format of what was Q School and the fall series.
Well, Jim, first of all, I want to assume that everybody calls you Hack.
That is
right?
correct.
So it's a great golf name.
But he's not a hack.
I mean, but he's not a hack.
But he's not a hack.
Did you ever try Q School?
I did not. I tried many mini tours, and I just never
That was
succeeded.
enough?
Yeah, well, I didn't succeed enough to justify the fee for Q School.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a
Which
tough
it is,
jump, believe
It's
me.
a pretty healthy fee, too.
Yeah, it's
Rick,
about
did you ever try
$5,000,
Q School?
It was.
I never did, Huffy.
Corey, did you ever try?
3 times.
Did you ever get through?
No.
Okay.
Came close in first stage the first time I tried, which is probably when I was playing my best.
I'm telling you though, it's like Spencer Levine said on the show the other night. The final round of Q School has to be the biggest test in golf, and now we've eliminated it. There's no more final rounds in Q School because there's no more Q School.
Well, in a sense, there will be. It's just going to be a different version of it, Huffy.
Okay.
It's the way I would like to look at it.
All right, give us the parameters here, Rick.
Because from what I understand and from what I've read, the way it's going to work is you're going to have 3 events. So if you break down Q School's 3 events, right?
Yep.
You have a first stage, second stage, third stage.
Yep.
Well, now those 3 events are going to be at a higher level. So the quality of golfer that's going to be in those fields are going to be quality players that have been working hard all year to obtain a goal, right? So you've got these 3 events, And basically, you got the guys that are from 126 to 200 on the PGA Tour money list. The funny thing was, what I read was
the FedEx Cup, right?
What I read was it wasn't the money list; it's the FedEx Cup list.
Yeah, it's FedEx Cup list.
It's FedEx Cup list,
Top
which everything is converting to FedEx Cup.
Yeah, do you see
not
that?
money?
Yeah, do you see that?
Right. So they're keeping that name in there, and boy, that must be about.
So
something.
now you have to get FedEx points instead of the money list. You got to make FedEx points.
So you've got 126 to 200, then you have the top 50 guys from the Nationwide Tour.
But that's the money list. That's done on the money list. That's not FedEx Cup points on the Nationwide. Those guys get on the money list.
But those guys are in these last three events.
Right.
So this is what's going to make up the field, right? So then you got the 50 guys from the top 50 guys from the Nationwide Tour. They're going in this thing, and those 125 guys are going to be playing three events to obtain, and the top 50 guys in those three events are going to get their card going forward.
My question is, how do you get on the Nationwide Tour now?
Well, the Nationwide Tour is going to be made up, Huffy, of
Q School.
There's a Q School, so you're going to go through Q School. That's going to get you on the Nationwide Tour.
Oh, So there is a Q School, but it's just not as important, and nobody's going to watch it now.
It's Q School for Nationwide, not Q School
you got
for
to
PGA.
So then you got to get to the Nationwide Tour. So you go to Q School to get on the Nationwide Tour, which is going to give you a year of golf, a year of experience, a year of tournament experience. And within that year, you've got to work towards getting in that top 50, which is going to get you in the season-ending three events to get the quest for the card.
Okay, and then my next question is, of the 50 guys who get their cards, of the 125 that are playing in that 3-week series, then what happens to the guys who don't get their cards? They go back to the Nationwide?
They go back to the Nationwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have full exemption. Full exemption on the Nationwide.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. To me it seems like it takes a little pizzazz out of the whole thing, but as Spencer pointed out in the show, and I'm sure he's right on this, he goes, it's got to be all about money.
Well,
it's got to be all about money.
Well, it's a combination of a lot of things, and if you forecast going ahead, you got to look at these events and what you're doing for sponsors and what you're doing to create, some sort of interest in these three events. And if you look at the fall series,
are they going to be fall series events? Is that what the three tournaments will be?
Basically, yeah. Well, then
do we know which three they're going to be?
No, the fall series,
and it's not this year; it's next year. So we got a whole year of talking about this.
So there's one more Q School coming up?
So there's one more. So there will be Q School because it starts 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And, one thing that Spencer Levine pointed out on Backspin Wednesday night, if you listen to the program, it was a great interview. He didn't even know about these changes that Q School was eliminated. But one point that he made is we wouldn't even know who John Huh is right now without Q School. The guy came out of Q School and has already won.
Huh?
Yeah, he already won. So what you're saying is that story is eliminated from possibility.
That story is eliminated, right? But if you look at the success and the other side of it, with Fincham and all the other guys, Jim Furyk and the guys that sit on this policy board are looking at, they're looking at the success of the Nationwide Tour and the guy that's come from the Nationwide Tour and how they've graduated to the PGA Tour. The longevity of that guy staying out there has been greater than some of the guys coming out of Q School.
Yeah, those Johnny Huss stories are few and far between.
They're not. They happen, and they're great stories for golf. They're fantastic stories. But what they're looking at is they're looking at creating some interest. They're looking at, like Bill said, creating advertising dollars, creating sponsorship dollars. They need to solidify their place. They need to solidify the Nationwide Tour to make that a more popular place.
Well, I don't think is the FedEx Cup deal is not done with FedEx after this year, is it?
I thought they renewed.
Did they renew?
Yeah, I thought they renewed, and I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
but I thought he did that.
Right.
I thought that was
I think you're right.
The big thing last year. At the end of last year, Fincham announced
but
that.
some of the fall sponsor guys have been questioning whether they're going to go forward, like Fries.com, which the tournament that used to be here in the Valley is kind of.
That's in Court Hall.
They mentioned that they were kind of worried about their position because they've been angling to get into the FedEx Cup for a long time and never been able to do it. They want to be a FedEx event.
So the schedule's not set. They don't have all that. They're not sure which events are going to be and who's going to take over.
There's a lot of details that still have to be worked out.
But they do know that it's changing.
Yeah,
and they've agreed on the change.
The fall series will now start the season.
And remember, when they came up with this thing for the FedEx Cup, I mean, how many times did they revise that, before it finally kind of settled into what we know it as today? I mean, I'm sure this thing will be the same kind of deal where they'll have some trial and some error, and it'll be just like, when Hack was coming up with the orange whip in his garage, trial and error. That was cool. I like the fact that you were using fishing poles.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat. You know?
Well, it feels like a fishing pole a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that you could even put a telescope thing on it and put it like a ball catcher. You could just like take the ball retriever, take the orange ball up, put the ball retriever on, and make it a double.
Sure. Well, and a lot of fly fishermen appreciate what this is about because of that motion. So I'm trying to make a hybrid that's a fly fishing rod and the whip.
And I'm glad we kind of segued off Q School there, which was good. But it's kind of cool talking about Q School. But there's so much stuff that's going to come out about that in the schedule that it'll be interesting to see where everybody falls out. Spencer Levine didn't like it. You're going to have guys that will like it. But
it's definitely a project in motion.
It is a project in motion. Jim, real quick, how did you figure out what the proper weight was on the
years ago, I had taken one of the fishing rods and I attached something I purchased at Home Depot. It basically was an ability so I could put washers and secure them in place, and we could adjust the amount of washers on each end. And sitting around in a friend of mine's backyard, Doug Wald is his name, and he's the actual manufacturer of the orange whips, we experimented by changing the weights on. All agreed that this felt the best. Okay. This was over after a few adult beverages as well, but we...
Well, of course, you're creating.
Exactly. So we, through a number of trials and errors in the adjustment of the weight, we found that to make it a device that's also stretching and strengthening, but not taking you away from your golf swing, this is just a group project, let's say.
Is there a defined weight? Do you guys know what that ball is?
Yeah, the orange ball is 300 grams, and the white ball, where the counterweight is 210. But if you factor in the weight of the grip, which is 75, it's pretty equivalent. And that's what, when you swing this device, is what keeps you on the proper swing plane, because physics take over when you're swinging back and forth, and it finds your natural swing plane.
Well, another thing you could do for marketing the orange whip is to get the guy who's the orange man at the Suns games. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he spray paints himself orange before every game. And he actually, now I notice he's making cameos in other places, like he was in L.A. recently, and they always pick him up on TV because he's orange. Completely orange. The orange man.
We need someone stand out like that. I'm a little shy and conservative in certain areas, but yeah, I need somebody vibrant like that.
Right, but they always pick that guy out of the. He always gets TV time every time he's in any building.
He's not going to get shot by accident, that's for sure. All right, Jim Hackenberg is with us from Orange Whip. I'm Corey LaRusso with azgolf.org columnist Bill Huffman and the man from Vans, Rick Levy. We're back to give one away right after this quick break. 260-9191. That's how you get in. This is Backspin on Extra Sports 910, the Valley's sports leader. This is Backspin, the golf show, presented by Ping. Play your best. I'm Corey LaRusso with azgolf.org columnist Bill Huffman and the man from Vans, Rick Levy. Our special guest this morning in studio with us from Orange Whip is Jim Hackenberg. 260-9191 is the number you want to keep handy, because we're going to give away an Orange Whip training device in just a moment with a little trivia. Remember, we come to you Wednesday nights from 6 to 7, Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Anything you want to know about us or the Backspin Tour, go to backspinthegolfshow.com. You can register for our tournament next weekend at the Wigwam at 8 o'clock shotgun. The show will be out there. We'll be out there. And our tournament will be out there. The good, the bad, the ugly will be represented. The super raffle, you get a bounce back round to one of the other golf courses, and we're going to feed you. It's a great value, so join us. Go to backspinthegolfshow.com to register now, or call the Wigwam directly for more information. That being said, guys, Jim, want to thank you very much for taking the time to spend the hour with us and for giving one of our lucky listeners one of these orange whips.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't get an inventor in the studio that often, so I love the way you told the story about how you came up with it. You and Karsten Solheim, man. I started out in a garage.
Yeah, I have a friend who calls me that because I have a putter that I'm about ready to bring out. I use it in my competitions, but I haven't brought it out to market. So my mind is always moving.
All right. Hopefully the shaft's a little stiffer than what you got here.
Yeah.
260-9191. That's the number to get into the program. I know Bill's loaded. That means you're locked, Rick. Let's get that trivia question out on the table.
Huffy, you do the question. I like your question.
Other way around this morning.
Yeah, you go for it, Huffy.
There you go. I'm locked this morning, and I'm not loaded.
Levy's
Okay.
loaded.
All right.
No, I'm not. But we talked about the question. You and I heard the question. We liked the question, Corey.
Love the question.
And we both got it right, so...
Well, between the
That's
two
rare.
of you, got it right. But it's you got to come up with two parts to it. We're looking for the players. There's two of them who have the most top 25 finishes on the PGA Tour since the start of the 2011 season. So that's almost a year and a third. Mm-hmm. And these guys, unbelievably, they've got 24 top 25 finishes each. Each player does. So they're tied for it, and we need to know their names.
So they've made some money.
Well, that's a lot of bank.
They've made a lot of money, and if you can give us the right answer and give us both players who are in that leading the way in top 25s over the last year and a third, we'll give you the whip.
The orange whip right here in front of us. It's on display. Jim Hackenberg was nice enough to bring it in for us to look at and check out. I want to thank some people for coming on the program this morning. Major Ed Polito for the 3rd annual Folds of Honor Golf Tournament. That's Sunday, April 22nd. Go to foldsofhonor.org for more information, or you can call the Wigwam directly. It's $125 per player, and it's benefiting all our troops and the Folds of Honor Foundation. So go to foldsofhonor.org for more information to register. I also want to thank Randy Tickner, the Director of Golf for the Oasis Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. And, of course, Jim Hackenberg is sitting right in front of me from Orange Whip for coming down and being with us in the studio for the last hour of the program.
Do we have, did you mention Corey? The two
Oh,
Corys?
yeah, and
The
Corey
two Corys?
Consuegra from Bridgestone Golf. All of his insight we certainly
We had
appreciate.
two Corys going on.
Boy, that Corey was fired up.
Yeah.
He was good.
What, I'm not fired up?
You are fired up, Corey.
Well,
but Corey Consueego had some great information.
In the battle of the two Corys, though, I think Corey had more energy, a little bit more. Well, maybe not.
I don't think so.
Corey always does
He got a
good
lot of
job.
information out in a short period of time.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about as far as his golf balls go. Okay, let's go to Alex in Scottsdale. You're on Backspin, the golf show. Alex, can you answer the question for an Orange Whip training device? Shoot.
What do you got? Hey, Huff. Hey, guys. It's AC. How are you?
Good,
Hey,
AC. What's up, buddy?
No, haven't talked to you boys in a while. Just was listening to your show. Just wanted to call in. And
Win
I got
an
one-
orange
I got
whip?
One of them. I got one of them, Huff, but I don't know the other.
Oh, what's one of them?
Oh, Luke Donald.
No,
Actually, it's not Luke Donald.
Nope. That was actually one of my guesses, which was wrong. 260-9191. That's AC, by the way. Thunderbird and the past chairman of the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and he did a fantastic job this year, and he was great to us. AC, good to hear from you. We'll catch up to you soon. In Phoenix, Steve, you're on Backspin, the golf show. Good morning.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hey,
I'm
Steve.
gonna take a guess. How about Webb Simpson?
That's one.
Nick Watney?
No, that's not two.
We got one down, though.
260-9191.
I thought this would be tougher.
Mike and Gilbert, you're on Backspin.
Hi, how about Webb and Matt Kuchar?
Hey,
you go.
that's it. You got yourself a whipper. I was going to Tom next.